one of the biggest challenges I think we have, particularly in the jobs that are open today, isn't the fact that our technical colleges aren't offering the skills, they're not offering the classes, it's that we don't have enough bodies in the classes.
You know, what type of government funding or help would you give a business owner so someone like myself could possibly further their education in the company?
Labor market information that you had talked about. As manufacturers, data is everything.
As the governor, and you go around and visit these other companies like ours, encourage people to get involved with their community and don't wait just for the government to do it, but get involved on your own and get out there and help that, school develop your future workforce.
None of the local colleges knew what to do with technical degrees. Is that another avenue you're looking at?
Right now we have certain positions here that we can't fill either. I mean, it's very difficult to find, skilled technicians. That's a good example right now. I mean, automation technicians. This kind of stuff is the future. It's not going away. I mean, those are nice family supporting jobs.
This and that, but what about the people that are in their 40s and 50s who have had a job somewhere for 30, 40 years and now they're getting laid off? Is there some way to get them into that training or something?
What about offering tax incentives to companies that are willing to maybe sponsor a certain number of students in our vocation?
I worked in the construction industry and was laid off in 2009. And the challenge I had was employers wouldn't want to hire me because I hadn't worked in so long.
I'm from Strohwig Industries, and I'm very involved in the education. I just want to tack on to what you're saying. I think part of it is in getting the students to discover their aptitude and attitude for manufacturing or accounting or whatever it is. And when you're grading these schools, maybe there should be something about introduction to different things. If they have I would like to say a robotics club, give them credit for hosting First Robotics or Bots IQ or other endeavors. I think that would help without throwing more and more money at education, just redirecting so that we don't have the 34,000 getting a four-year degree before they find out, hey, I'm not even cut out for whatever that degree was, or I can't get a job in it, or my brother is doing great as a tool and die maker or a CNC machinist. I'll never make that kind of money in my career, so I got to go back to school. So if we got those things out there, if we promoted clubs where they can discover, clubs where they can even tour facilities and be introduced, I think that would go a long way to creating jobs, solving our skills shortage, and keeping Wisconsin number one.
That's a great point. And in fact, one of the reasons not only with this talk with Walker session, but why I so often tour here and across the state factories and go through manufacturing sites is to draw more attention to the valuable careers that are there. When I was a kid, we had industrial arts, and that wasn't the only thing, but it kind of opened the door and it gave all of us a chance to try out and see whether we were interested in areas like that. And in the 80s, when I was in high school, I think something had happened, and I get why it did. In the 80s, nationally, we recognized that we were falling way behind places like Japan and elsewhere when it came to science and math and technology. And so there was a renewed focus on trying to get more young people into college, which is great. Don't walk away thinking I'm cutting down on a four-year college, because I'm paying for one kid in college right now, and I got another one who wants to go into engineering next year for a four-year degree. So I get that, but I think it went so overboard that instead of it being, the irony is we didn't see a dramatic increase in STEM areas and degrees. We saw a dramatic increase in kids going to college for other areas, which didn't help us keep up with that demand. So we didn't meet the desired purpose, which we're still not where we need to be. We need to focus on. And at the same time, we gave this false impression that you couldn't have a good career without a four-year degree, which is not true. And so one of the things I've even mentioned to some of my sons over the years, friends, is, again, not to knock four-year college, but to say, you know what, you go to a two-year program, you'll be working 2 to 3 years sooner, you'll have a fraction of the student debt, and probably compared to most of your former classmates, you'll come out making 15 to 20 grand more per year. Now that's, if not more, right? Yeah. And so you look at that and you say, okay, and what's wrong with that? Now, again, it's not to say that, you know, everything's about money or time. If someone, my view is you should figure out what you want to do, what your career interests are, what you're good at, what makes you feel good about the impact you have on life, and, you know, helps you support your family and all that. And that's what you should pursue. One of the companies I was at where they were looking at adding shifts is not too far in Milwaukee, where for some of our highest unemployment rates are at in the state. And I think to myself, man, if I could find a way not only to get more young people, but to get more people who are not employed at the level they'd like to be employed at now into these skill sets. You know, some of our frustrations that we sometimes say at some of our most highest levels of unemployment, there aren't enough jobs. But what I found repeatedly, there are a lot of employers in these areas that have jobs. We just don't have enough people to plug in. We got to do more on that. It's an all-out effort.